car manufacturers such as Porsche or Ferrari send one of their priceless, irreplaceable cars halfway around the world to race wheel to wheel in anger at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca? Fortunately, the answer is yes. Welcome to the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion. The Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion is the largest event of the entire Monterey Car Week, and it's one of the top historic races in the world. Look at this, the very first car to win a race at Laguna Seca in 1957. This is a 1956 Ferrari 500 Testarossa driven by Pete Lovely. Let me tell you how the race unfolded. Lovely's in second place in the 2-liter Ferrari. He's chasing Johnny von Neumann in the more current 2.5-liter Ferrari. Lovely's all over the tail of von Neumann, but he can't get around him. Lovely creates a scheme. He holds back, and on the very last lap, in turn 9, out of nowhere, Lovely catches von Neumann right on his tail. Von Neumann, surprised and a little bit flustered, misses a shift. Lovely goes around. The rest is history. Let me introduce you to Barry Tupke. He's with Scramp, Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Barry's going to explain to us how a car is scrutinized for this event. Barry, pleasure.
Pleasure meeting you. Thank
you
for coming out.
You betcha.
Well, we have over 900 entries for 550 limited grid spots because of the track size and our paddock size. So we look at the authenticity of the car, the historical correctness of it. We don't want modern day stickers on the vehicles. Then they go into the scrutineering process on tech lane to make sure that the mechanicals are correct, safety requirements are correct. We want to make sure that the safety of the car and the safety of the driver are paramount. So we check everything on the tires, wheels, everything.
It's really an honor and a privilege to be able to be accepted into this event, am I correct?
It is. A lot of times these cars go for auction later on, and they say the provenance of the car, Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion. So it's kind of fun to see when that happens.
Cool. Barry, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We're extremely fortunate to have the opportunity to drive this lovely Jaguar, especially at the Rolex. I'd like to introduce you to Larry Oka. Larry, it's a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine.
Thank you. Tell us about this important Jaguar to the area, its history, and how you'd like me to drive it this weekend.
Well, I just want to get the steering wheel back, but drive the wheels off of it, as the saying goes, and have a good time with it.
Yeah.
It is a famous car as far as around here. It raced here in 1963, won races here in 63, 64. It was built by Joe Huffaker for Shell Cavalli, the importer of the Jaguar cars. And it's one of about 4 cars that were built in the United States for racing. So it has a long history. And the announcer who just recently passed away for Laguna Seca Raceway, Larry Albetti, actually owned this car about 1968, if I remember correctly, and raced the car.
Interesting. Well, I do look forward to racing this car this weekend. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
All right.
My pleasure.
Bet. Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion has so many different classes of cars and thoroughly covers all eras of road racing. There truly is something for everyone. With car enthusiasts in abundance, automobile manufacturers seize the opportunity to showcase their latest creations. This year we're celebrating Laguna Seca's 60th anniversary. This is the Racing Through the Decades display. All of these cars have won races at the storied track. We have prototypes, motorcycles, sports cars, Indy cars, you name it. The Rolex is an ideal venue for cars and people to reunite, such is the case with John Morton and the BRE 240Z. What we have is a reunion within a reunion. This is Randy Jaffe.
Hi.
Randy, how are you?
Great, how are you?
John Morton, it's a pleasure.
Well, in 1970, November 29th in 1970, John Morton won the national championship in the C production in the 240Z, which happened to be my birthday. So this was kind of a love affair over many, many years.
John, can you share with us about your season?
Well, it was a mixed season, and we had to win the last two or we weren't going to go to the runoffs.
Right.
And that was asking a lot of a car that had never finished and never won, but we did. We won at Ontario, and then we won again at Phoenix. And the competition was so close that instead of not qualifying, we tied for first. And so we knew we had a real car, and when we went to Atlanta, we got pole. We had the pole and won the race, and the following year we did the same thing.
We literally finished the car last Thursday night. We drove it around the shop, loaded up on a trailer. It was here Friday. John got in the car and drove it on Saturday and was polled 8th out of, I think it was close to 30 people in that race, and repeated that and came in, finished 6th. But we're talking the IMSA class with 935s, 930s, RSRs. I mean, it was the little Datsun that could.
Great stories.
Some good stuff.
John,
Thanks.
we appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thanks.
Good. Randy?
Thank you, John.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. cars at the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion were designed to be driven and raced, not to be mothballed in a museum. This weekend we were privileged to hear engines rip and roar, to smell exhaust and hot brakes, and to witness at speed some of the most marvelous machinery of all time. We'd like to thank Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca and Scramp for facilitating a world-class event. And thank you for watching the Speed Journal.